more important than a wide receiver, especially more important than a first-round wide receiver. Do I like Ja'Marr Chase? I think I said, and if I were a team that already had a quarterback, my first two picks would be Penei Sewell and Ja'Marr Chase. Ja'Marr Chase is the most talented player in the draft. I said that from the very beginning, that even with sitting out, he deserved to be the number one pick. So, I was never on the Ja'Marr Chase is a bad player train. I still stand by they should have drafted Penei Sewell. Anyways.
I thought so too, but he's gone beyond just being a good rookie wideout. He's on pace to be basically the best rookie wideout that we've seen in a decade. So,
we did just see Justin Jefferson last year.
He's on pace to be better than Jefferson.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he can continue. Again, like I said, he is probably the most talented wide receiver to be drafted in the last 5 years. Better than Lamb, better than Jefferson, better than Claypool, better than Juju. I think he is the best wide receiver to have been drafted in the last 5 years. I still say Penei Sewell should have been drafted by the Bengals. All right.
Okay.
We're going to go to break in a couple minutes, but first I just want to quickly go over a pretty mundane game that we skipped over. That's the Packers and Aaron Rodgers' baby Bears.
He still owns them.
Yep.
He still owns them. He's right.
Yep. The 5-1 now. The now 5-1 Packers 24. The now 3-3 Bears 14. Aaron Rodgers had himself a pretty quiet day. 17 completions for 195 yards and 2 touchdowns. Justin Fields, 174 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Khalil Herbert, the leading running back for the Bears, 19 carries, 97 yards, 1 touchdown. Aaron Jones racking up 76 yards. Devontae Adams does Devontae Adams things. Allen Robinson still can't get beyond 15 yards. Or get 15 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. He averaged 12 and a half yards per catch, 4 for 53. My math is bad, so maybe it's 13 and a quarter or something like that. But not a great game for the Chicago Bears. Not a great game for the Green Bay Packers either, if I'm being honest. I definitely expect more out of Aaron Rodgers than 195 yards. I expect Aaron Jones to be up over 100 against a team like the Bears, where the offense really struggles to stay on the field. That being said, they're 5-1. They got the win. What are you guys' thoughts? Am I being a little too critical on Rodgers and Jones?
No, fuck the Bears.
I think they've looked good besides that embarrassing game against the Saints. And good teams can have bad games. If that's their one bad game this season, then they're legit. I don't think that's at all settled yet. I don't think they've played the hardest teams. I want to see them up against a really good team. Have they played the Vikings yet this season?
No, they've played the Saints, Lions, Niners, Steelers, Bengals, Bears. Their next games coming up are Washington, Arizona, and Kansas City.
Okay, well, there's 2 out of 3 of those are big tests, especially the Cardinals. That's they're the top team in the league right now, and we'll see if the Packers can go toe to toe with them, because I think that'll tell the real story of the NFC there. Until I see them against stiffer competition, they're very similar to they're a little bit above the Bengals, but they're still not in the realm of the NFC leaders to me, which is the Cards, the Rams, and the Bucks.
All right, so this stretch is brutal. They play Washington, then Arizona, then the Chiefs, then the Seahawks, then the Vikings, then the Rams, then the Bears again, then the Ravens, then the Browns, then the Vikings, and finish with the Lions.
No, at least an easy last game of the season, but yeah, that's a pretty tough schedule right there. They got a couple of relatively easy games in there, but yeah, man, there's some really stiff competition in those matchups.
And let's not forget, the Washington football team might be 2-4, but Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Daron Payne, those are some real badass guys. So it's not going to be easy on Aaron Rodgers.
I want to see it this season. They looked like a real defense last year. They looked like they were a step away, and then I don't know what's going on this year so far. So we'll see if they can shape back up to what we thought we were seeing.
We will see, and we will be discussing them in just a little bit on the other side of this break. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just about 1 minute. You're listening to Dan D'Antoni Sports. And welcome back to Dan D'Antoni Sports. We are back with our second half. Actually, this is probably going to be second of third section of Dan D'Antoni Sports. We left off on the Packers-Bears because we actually skipped them and went to the Bengals-Lions. But we're going to pick up after Bengals-Lions if you're following along on the ESPN Score app. And that is Texans-Colts. Oh my God, do the Texans look terrible. Jesus Christ. Colts with a less than good, and I still say bottom 5 quarterback in the NFL, Carson Wentz. I still think he's bottom 5. Made them look stupid. And this is a Texans team that just a few years ago had J.J. Watt, had Jadeveon Clowney, had Jonathan Joseph. This was a very strong defensive team just 2-3 years ago, and now it's trash. And Colts beat the Texans 31-3. Can it get any worse? I know the Lions are 0-6, but are the Texans worse than the Lions?
Probably.
Maybe. As far as going forward, I think they certainly could be. I think, you're looking at two of the very bottom. and they don't really have a lot of assets. They traded away much of their future in bad trades.
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah. I think they're pretty bad. I like Campbell as a head coach, so I think the Lions are still going to struggle this season, but I'm hoping to see improvement from them.
It can't get any worse.
Yeah, and I don't really think the same about the Texans. I don't really know much about their HC other than that he was a Ravens guy. So yeah, it's not looking good for them. I don't think they have a very bright future. Maybe if Mills is the truth, he's looked okay in his limited opportunities. And they've got Brandon Cooks, who's QB proof as far as fantasy goes, and always seems to make himself open. But
he's the best player on the team.
It's going to be rough sledding for the Texans for the next couple years, at least, in my opinion.
Yeah, and with the quarterback situation with Davis Mills, it's next man up. Low-hanging fruit joke, sorry. Davis Mills with your oddly long neck.
Yeah, he looks like Mike Glennon.
Yeah. But even with Carson Wentz being shit, God, Jonathan Taylor's just so good. He is... God, he's so good. And I hated watching him at Wisconsin because I knew he was going to fuck Penn State up. And he always did. He always did. And I'm glad he's not there to do any more damage to Penn State because Jesus Christ, he's so good. T.Y. Hilton coming back, 4 catches, 80 yards. Carson Wentz, 11 of 20 for 223, 2 touchdowns. Not a bad game, but still, even, wet turds look shiny enough in the right sunlight. But Davis Mills, bad showing. 243 yards, 2 interceptions. Mark Ingram, old man Mark, 73 yards.
Yeah. God, their running backs are depressing and remind me of the Jets last year.
Old and broken. Fucking Mark Ingram and David Johnson.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that getting rid of Duke Johnson and bringing in David Johnson, they'd be swapping out a better D Johnson for a new one? But yeah, Brandon Cooks, 9 catches, 89 yards. Dude didn't even get you a receiving touchdown, still got you 17 fantasy points.
Yep, he's a beast.
It's not much more to say. This Texans team literally might be the worst team in the NFL. And I only say that because, yes, they did beat Jacksonville in week 1. Jacksonville has shown steady improvement since then. The Texans have not. So, it's so bad.
Yeah, they just don't have a lot going for them.
Oh, and Philip Lindsay. Forgot about Philip Lindsay.
It's probably the worst situation to be thrust into as a rookie quarterback. And again, saying that as a Jets fan.
Well, at least the Jets were smart enough to say, hey, rookie quarterback, we've got you, a starting left tackle and a starting left guard. You're welcome.
Yeah.
But, God. Colts aren't even a good team. They're 2-4, and they just fucked the Texans up. They're not.
I mean, hey, Colts, in their defense, they did take the Ravens to OT. They've had some tough losses, and I don't think Wentz and Nelson were healthy to start the first 3 games coming off those foot injuries. So,
again, Wentz is terrible, though.
I'm going to wait and see on the Colts. They're definitely not a contender in my opinion, but I don't think they're one of the worst teams in the NFL, and there could be some potential there. They have gone toe to toe with some of the teams that look like they're contenders, so we'll see.
But will Wentz make it through a season?
That's a big question.
The
I
Eagles
just traded him away with Dynasty for James Conner and a second